That's hilarious, Can. I don't really get it, but it's still hilarious.
Okay, well remember there, Kyle, it's not so much about who you are as much as it is about what people are attracted to.
Yeah, can we do this whole dinner again?
Well, that's fine, because there's a lot of different brands people are attracted to. How about this one? Kyle, sensitive, outdoorsy, frugal victim.
And well, I've got a lot of songs, and I was wondering, I'm clearly good, right? People wouldn't tell me I was good if I wasn't good, would they?
Wealthy, handsome, multi-talented, Grammy Award-winning victim. Oh, that one's taken already, sorry.
She hates delete.
You need to knock it off, and you're hitting everyone with that table.
I understand you want people to like you more and think you're cool.
Picture this. You've spent 3 years carefully crafting the perfect comeback story. Every Instagram post calculated, every interview rehearsed, every brand partnership strategically aligned. Then, in less than 60 seconds of animated television, it all crumbles. Not slowly, not quietly, but spectacularly, publicly, and completely beyond your control. That's exactly what happened when South Park's latest teaser hit screens last month. Within moments of that red-haired silhouette appearing on screen, wine glass in hand, wide-brimmed hat casting shadows, the internet exploded into detective mode. Nobody needed names. The imagery spoke volumes.
Down with the monarchy! We deserve our privacy! These people.
But here's what makes this story absolutely fascinating. This wasn't just another celebrity roast. This was a carefully orchestrated demolition of a brand that had spent years trying to rewrite its own narrative. And the timing? Absolutely devastating. The moment that animated shadow flickered across television screens, something shifted in the digital landscape. Social media platforms lit up like wildfire. Within minutes, Reddit users were posting side-by-side comparisons with surgical precision. The detective work was breathtaking. Fans analyzed everything from the exact curve of the wine glass to the angle of animated facial features. But the real story wasn't happening on Twitter or TikTok.
So you hate journalists? That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist.
It was unfolding behind closed doors in a sprawling estate where panic was setting in fast. According to sources familiar with the situation, the reaction inside certain celebrity circles was immediate and intense. This wasn't the usual social media flutter that dies down after a news cycle. This was different, more urgent, more threatening to carefully constructed public personas. What made this moment particularly brutal was the context. For months, there had been whispers of a major lifestyle rebrand in the works. Think soft pastels, wellness narratives, and premium wine partnerships. The groundwork had been laid, influencers were being courted, and brand partnerships were taking shape. Then came that 60-second animated sequence that changed everything.
It has been several months now since our beloved queen has died. All Canadians are finding it hard to go on. All Canadians, that is, except for our first guest, the prince and his wife.
The internet's reaction revealed something crucial. The public wasn't shocked this time. They were ready. Eager, even. The first time these particular figures had been animated into controversy, there was genuine surprise. People laughed, but with a hint of, did they really go there? This time, the laughter was immediate, sharp, and merciless. That shift in public sentiment represents something far more dangerous than simple mockery. It signals the transformation from protected public figures to open targets. When satirical content about someone becomes expected rather than shocking, their cultural armor has been pierced.
Park County Police Station, what's your emergency?
Yeah, the neighbors across the street are setting off fireworks and it's 10:30 at night.
Oh, is it the Prince of Canada and his wife who just want to be left alone?
The timing couldn't have been worse for the ambitious rebrand that was quietly launching. Premium lifestyle content was being prepared, wellness partnerships were in development, and a sophisticated wine venture was about to make its debut. Everything was positioned to distance certain public figures from past controversies and establish them as aspirational lifestyle influencers. But that animated teaser didn't just interrupt the rebrand, it hijacked it entirely. Suddenly, conversations weren't about elegant wine tastings or empowering female entrepreneurship. They were about cartoon characters and leaked animation frames. The viral nature of the content revealed something even more troubling for reputation management teams.
We want privacy! We want privacy!
The public was treating this like a cultural event, rather than a brief comedic moment. Fans weren't just sharing screenshots, they were creating elaborate theories about what might come next, building entire narratives around leaked content, and turning speculation into entertainment. This level of engaged mockery represents a publicist's worst nightmare. It's one thing to manage negative press coverage or social media backlash. It's entirely different when your client becomes the center of an ongoing cultural phenomenon that feeds on itself and grows stronger with each attempt to control it.
Just have to find a way to make £50 billion on our own.
Behind the scenes, the response was reportedly swift and desperate. Legal teams were consulted within hours. Crisis communication specialists, who typically handle political scandals and corporate disasters, were brought in for emergency consultations. The situation had escalated from a PR hiccup to a full-blown reputation crisis. But here's what makes this story truly fascinating. Traditional damage control strategies simply don't work against animated satire. You can't issue a cease and desist to cultural momentum. You can't fact-check a cartoon.
And please stop sending me samples.
I hear you, Andy. I'll amp it up. I'll smash a wine glass. I'll tell Kyle she has Munchausen syndrome. I'll accuse Dorit of doing coke.
You can't control a narrative when the entire internet is writing it for you. The panic was justified. Years of careful image cultivation were being dismantled by anonymous animators who didn't need to engage, clarify, or care about the human cost of their jokes. This wasn't a gossip columnist who could be reasoned with, or a tabloid that might be influenced. This was comedic execution by committee, protected by artistic expression, and fueled by public appetite. As social media engagement around the animated content continued to surge, something even more disturbing began to happen.
I don't know what to do. How are we going to pay for school for Archie?
I have to tell you, I never realized so many things cost money. Like this chicken. I bet you had to pay for it.
The content wasn't just being shared, it was being analyzed like political commentary. Users weren't treating it as simple entertainment, they were dissecting it for deeper meaning, cultural significance, and prophetic accuracy. This transformation from comedy to commentary marked a crucial shift. The subjects of the satire were no longer just being mocked. They were being studied, analyzed, and ultimately dismissed as serious public figures. In the entertainment industry, that transition from respect to ridicule often proves irreversible. And then came the leaks.
Who's that?
That's your nephew, Archie.
You're pulling my leg. Why have we not met before?
You've met him like 1,000 times.
Not through official channels or traditional media outlets, but through the shadowy corners of the internet, where animation professionals share works in progress. The first leaked image appeared on a private Discord server used by animation enthusiasts. It was grainy, watermarked, and accompanied by cryptic production notes. Initially, many assumed it was fan art or AI-generated content designed to capitalize on the viral moment. But as more images emerged, each more detailed and professionally rendered than the last, the truth became undeniable. These weren't fan creations. They were genuine production materials from an upcoming episode, and their content was absolutely brutal. One particular frame showed an animated figure clutching an oversized wine bottle, labeled with ironic messaging about empathy and authenticity.
Well, it's an apartment, so.
Yes, an apartment palace, I know that. Lots of tiny palaces inside one big palace.
The imagery was exaggerated to the point of cruelty, but devastatingly on-brand for the show's signature style of satirical character assassination. The leaked content triggered an immediate cultural explosion. Social media platforms couldn't contain the viral spread. TikTok creators began animating the static frames with dramatic music and voice clips from real interviews, creating hybrid content that blurred the line between satire and documentary. The sophistication of the online response was remarkable. Users weren't just sharing the leaks. They were conducting forensic analysis of every background detail, creating elaborate theories about hidden meanings, and building comprehensive timelines of satirical references.
We can be the people we talked about being, with no more worries about how we look or the image we project to people. What matters is what we have on the inside. Hello?
From a reputation management perspective, the leaks represented something unprecedented. A preview of cultural humiliation that the subjects couldn't control, contest, or contain. Traditional crisis management assumes you can shape the narrative through strategic communication. But when the narrative is being written by anonymous animators and amplified by millions of engaged users, traditional strategies become worthless. The psychological impact was reportedly severe, particularly for individuals who had built their entire public persona around controlling their own story. For years, they had crafted narratives about empowerment, authenticity, and reclaiming their voice.
She hates delete.
You need to knock it off, and you're hitting everyone with that table.
Suddenly, their voice was being literally animated and distorted for public entertainment. Industry insiders began reporting a secondary crisis, the collapse of carefully planned business ventures. Brand partnerships that had been months in development were suddenly being reconsidered. Lifestyle companies that had been eager to associate with aspirational celebrity figures began distancing themselves from what was increasingly viewed as toxic celebrity drama. The wine venture that was supposed to launch the new lifestyle brand became a particular casualty. Instead of representing sophisticated taste and female entrepreneurship, it became synonymous with the animated wine bottle from the leaked frames. Marketing campaigns were scrapped. Influencer partnerships were dissolved.
Hilarious, Meghan. Why did you move back here anyway?
It was ultimately a tough call, but there were a lot of factors to consider.
What was meant to be a premium lifestyle product became a meme. This business impact revealed the broader consequences of becoming a recurring satirical target. It's not just about hurt feelings or damaged egos. It's about the practical destruction of earning potential and brand value. When public figures become punchlines, they lose their aspirational quality, which is essential for lifestyle branding. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, the response from traditional power structures was telling in its complete absence. The institutional silence spoke volumes about how significantly relationships had deteriorated and how little protection remained for the embattled figures.
Yeah, we're hoping the ketchups and mustards are going to be sold at Whole Foods, which, would be huge. Oh, and they're all organic in case anyone was wondering.
We weren't.
Royal correspondents, who typically spring into action to defend or contextualize negative coverage, remained conspicuously quiet. There were no anonymous briefings, no strategic leaks to friendly journalists, no attempts to provide alternative narratives. The silence was strategic and surgical. Behind the scenes, sources suggested that the institutional response ranged from amusement to satisfaction. Years of public criticism and media warfare had apparently exhausted any remaining goodwill. The animated humiliation was being viewed not as collateral damage requiring intervention, but as natural consequences requiring observation.
Hey, thanks for having us on the show!
It's so awesome to be here. It's great.
This abandonment by former allies represented perhaps the most devastating aspect of the entire crisis. Public mockery is survivable when you have institutional support or powerful advocates. But when you're facing cultural ridicule, while your former allies watch from the sidelines, the isolation becomes psychologically crushing. The entertainment industry took notice. Comedy writers, talk show hosts, and satirical content creators recognized the green light that had been given. If animated satirists could target these particular figures without institutional pushback, then everyone else could join the party. Late-night television shows began incorporating references into their monologues.
Anyway, Meghan, you were saying Dorit's such a what?
What? No, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything, Dorit.
Well, I heard it somewhere.
Stand-up comedians worked the controversy into their routines. Podcast hosts dedicated entire episodes to analyzing the cultural phenomenon. The satirical content had given permission for broader cultural mockery. TikTok creators became particularly creative, producing elaborate parody content that mixed real interview clips with the leaked animation frames. Some creators gained hundreds of thousands of followers by specializing in this hybrid content, turning the controversy into their own personal brand opportunity. The viral nature of the content revealed something crucial about modern celebrity culture. The public's appetite for celebrity downfall content is practically unlimited when it's packaged as entertainment rather than journalism.
What the hell?
What did he just say? He victimized me. It's because I'm an ethnic woman.
He can't do that! I'll see. Wait, you're ethnic? This is an outrage! We'll just see how he deals with my blue...
People felt comfortable sharing and engaging with satirical content in ways they might hesitate to do with traditional negative coverage. As the online phenomenon continued to grow, the subjects of the satire reportedly attempted a counter-offensive through direct social media engagement. The strategy was to bypass traditional media entirely and speak directly to supporters through authentic, unfiltered communication. The attempt was a disaster. A carefully planned live stream designed to showcase vulnerability and authenticity instead became another source of viral content when technical difficulties created awkward moments that were immediately turned into memes.
It's so nice to have you back in London, Meghan. I've missed our little lunches.
We've never had lunch together, Kate.
Well, we must continue the tradition.
The failure highlighted a crucial problem. When you become a satirical target, even genuine moments of human vulnerability get filtered through the lens of comedy. Sincerity becomes performance. Authenticity becomes calculation. Every public appearance gets analyzed for comedic potential rather than human connection. This transformation represents the ultimate success of satirical targeting. It's not enough to mock someone once. You have to change how the public perceives everything they do going forward. That's the true power of effective satire. It permanently alters the lens through which public figures are viewed. As the controversy continued to escalate, additional leaked content emerged that suggested the animated treatment was far from finished.
So let me start with you, sir. You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Where?
Production materials indicated that what had already been released represented only a fraction of the planned satirical content. The psychological warfare aspect became clear. The leaks weren't accidental. They were strategic releases designed to build anticipation, maintain public engagement, and maximize the eventual impact of the complete episode. The subjects were being forced to endure a slow-motion public humiliation with no clear endpoint. Business consequences continued to mount. Streaming platforms that had been developing content partnerships began reconsidering their associations. Publishing houses that had been courting book deals grew distant. Speaking engagement opportunities dried up. The satirical targeting was having real economic consequences that extended far beyond hurt feelings.
Thanks. Okay, see you later. Oh, would you pick up some milk?
The situation revealed something important about modern celebrity culture. The line between entertainment and destruction has become increasingly blurred. What presents itself as harmless comedy can have devastating real-world consequences for the targets, but audiences don't necessarily consider or care about that human cost when they're being entertained. As creators of the satirical content began making public appearances and dropping hints about unreleased material, it became clear that the full scope of the planned content would be far more extensive and brutal than what had already been leaked. One particularly ominous comment from a show creator suggested that the leaked material represented only the beginning of what was planned. The implication was clear. The psychological torment was intentional, strategic, and designed to build toward an even more devastating climax.
We couldn't get jobs and we ran out of money. We ate chicken out of bowls and rode in big cars full of smelly people to something called work. Every day was a new nightmare.
This revelation transformed the situation from a standard celebrity controversy into something resembling a cultural execution. The targets weren't just being mocked. They were being systematically destroyed as public figures through death by 1,000 animated cuts. The entertainment industry watched with fascination and horror as a case study in reputational destruction played out in real time. Traditional power structures, media relationships, and crisis management strategies proved completely ineffective against the viral nature of satirical content. As the situation continued to deteriorate, it became clear that the subjects had few remaining options. Speaking publicly risked providing more material for satirical content.
Yes, that's right, friend. You see, my wife and I are totally like, you should write a book because your family's like stupid, and then so are like journalists.
Remaining silent looked like weakness and surrender. Legal action seemed pointless against artistic expression protected by free speech. The trap was complete. Every possible response had been anticipated and neutralized. The subjects had been systematically isolated from their support systems, abandoned by former allies, and transformed into cultural punchlines, with no apparent path to redemption. This case study in reputational destruction will likely be analyzed for years as an example of how modern media dynamics can completely overwhelm traditional celebrity management strategies. When satirical content becomes viral cultural phenomena, the normal rules of public relations simply don't apply.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. I kind of took you out of your natural habitat. I'm surprised you're still breathing.
The psychological toll of this systematic destruction reportedly pushed the targets toward complete withdrawal from public life. But even retreat carries its own risks. Disappearing from public view could confirm the satirical narrative and make any future comeback even more difficult. As the dust settles and the entertainment industry processes what they've witnessed, one thing becomes clear. This wasn't just about mocking two particular public figures. It was about demonstrating the complete vulnerability of modern celebrity in the face of viral satirical content. The implications extend far beyond the immediate targets.
How many more princes and his wives have to live in this nightmare?
Every public figure, celebrity, and brand now understands that carefully constructed images can be demolished overnight by anonymous creators armed with nothing more than drawing tablets and cultural insight. The age of celebrity image control may be ending. In its place, we're seeing the rise of viral accountability, where public figures are held responsible not by journalists or institutions, but by the collective creative power of internet culture. What happens next will determine whether this represents a temporary cultural moment or a permanent shift in how celebrity power operates in the digital age. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the whole world is watching to see how this story ends.
Over, under, around, and through. Meet Mr. Bunny Rabbit, pull and through! I did it!
Good job, Harry.
The countdown continues, and everyone's waiting to see whether redemption is possible after becoming a cartoon, or whether some forms of cultural damage prove irreversible. The final episode is coming, and it promises to answer those questions definitively.